Hi everyone, welcome to today's edition of the E-volve podcast. My name is Adewumi Oni. If you are joining for the first time, this is a weekly podcast, and it is designed to help people, young and middle-aged adults all over the world, to achieve their dreams, to live the best of life, and also to fulfill their potentials. Today we'll be looking at an interesting topic. Interesting because it's a topic that is relatable to everyone all over the globe. It's also a topic that affects a lot of people. I know quite a number of people that have been affected by this particular phenomenon. We are going to be looking at the topic: how to detect a Ponzi scheme. How to detect a Ponzi scheme. To start with, I think around June or so this year, there was a story around one of the Ponzi schemes that collapsed in Nigeria. A particular victim, I'll keep his name or I'll use Mr. X as his name, got to know that there was trouble when he saw the frenzy of activities on the WhatsApp platform set up for investors in that scheme. And then he read through the charts and noticed that people have been making effort to withdraw uh, their fund, and they've not succeeded. So he attempted to withdraw about 500 US dollar, and what should have taken like 10 minutes. After 24 hours, there was no deposit, there was no inflow. And so he sent messages to the administrator, and he got response that they were working at the back end. There were too many withdrawal attempts at the same time. Longer to cut the story short, after a few days, there was the app just collapsed, and then people went to the office to see whether they could get their staff, but lo and behold, there was no one to even take or even pick up to say, oh, where is our fund? And so people lost quite a lot of money into running into hundreds of millions on that particular scheme. So how do you identify and how do you ensure that you do not fall victim to similar scheme when it comes up again? Because this has always been coming up, especially in this part of the world, and people have always been falling victims for this particular scheme. So this edition is dedicated to look at how to identify Ponzi scheme. First, what's a Ponzi scheme? A Ponzi scheme is an investment scheme that pays old people in the scheme with money gotten from new people. So as new people are enrolling, they use the money for enrollment to pay the old people. So they keep getting money to pay the old people from new enrollees. However, where issues usually come up is where the rate of enrollment is far lower than the rate of cashing out. And also when everybody wants to cash out at the same time, you then run into trouble, and then people lose money. And then that's when the scheme collapses. So this is different from typical or legitimate investment schemes. Don't mix it up. There are other legitimate investment schemes where you put some fund and then earn some reasonable or decent returns. You are usually fairly related or yeah, equal to the market returns. But the Ponzi schemes are they usually promise high return that you can't even find anywhere in the market. So how do you detect? What are the signals for you to know that a particular investment scheme is a Ponzi scheme? Number one is the kind of returns they promise. Like I said, unrealistic returns. And do not forget that we all operate in the same market, and the market's fundamentals would dictate to the average returns for every instrument of investment. So when you see an investment that is promising more than the average market rate, be careful. Investment that promises you double of your investment within a short period of time, be careful, because number one, when people are usually The returns on investments usually come from what that investment is put into. If it is invested into maybe real estate or something, you give it time and then they make returns when they are able to develop and maybe sell the real estate or sell the property. But when people just say you bring in certain amounts of money and then you get return after you get 100%, just know that that's a red flag, a red flag. Another signal is when there are no specific or clear business models. It's just bring in money and then you get 100% return at the end of 30 days. Bring money, get it. That's not a business model because markets, the marketplace has certain fundamentals. The major thing is that money goes after value. Where value is created, money is exchanged for that value. It is either you are creating value or you are adding value or you are transforming value before money can be exchanged. So when there is no value, when I say value, there's no goods, there's no services, there are no works that you can call tangible, whether it's tangible or intangible, that you can hold on to that this is what you are paying for. It is not likely that that scheme would last. So second, clear business model. Third one is that there are no fundamentals, the usual fundamentals of creating value and exchanging money for that value. They are usually absent there. So when people say just bring in money and then I'll double it at the end of the month, know that that's a Ponzi scheme or most likely to be a Ponzi scheme. As long as you are paying for something and then even if you are investing in fixed deposit for it, the value is that that fixed deposit is also invested. The organization that is taking that money from you and paying you a return is probably using it for something to generate income such that they make enough income to pay you back and also still have a margin for themselves. That's value creation. Or when there is no value creation, it will collapse. So third one is lack of market fundamentals. Then the fourth one is pressure tactics. When they start saying, oh, you better do it quickly before this closes, and then they put you under some sort of pressure. There are limited slots and all the rest. Act fast and not just know that it's a Ponzi scheme. The fifth one is that they are almost in all cases unregulated. Most financial instruments are sold by organizations that are regulated by the central banks, regulated by maybe Deposit Insurance Corporation, some sort of regulatory authority. And the reason why you have those regulatory authorities is so that they also ensure that they have the proper structure. They have enough asset base to meet demand of customers when they need to call in their money. So, but when they do not have, when you don't find them registered with CAC or SEC or that Security Exchange Commission or any other regulatory authority, be careful. It's likely to be a Ponzi scheme. Another one is when the operations are opaque, they usually don't have offices or they have just one small office somewhere where you maybe find the same person coming in day in, day out. And the way those offices are usually designed, they can move within 24 hours. So just be careful. That's also another signal. Regulated businesses have proper structure. You can check their website, you can see their board, you can see their management team, you can see their branches and locations. But Ponzi schemes, they hardly come with such structure. And then the moment you hear that, oh, it's difficult to withdraw money, be run. In fact, at that point, like they say in our local language, Kasala has burst. By the time you are finding out that it's difficult to withdraw your money, it means that Kasala has burst. There is trouble already. There's nothing you can do at that point. So these are some of the red flags to watch out to avoid falling victim of Ponzi scheme. And the usual strategies or tactics that these people use, the people behind these schemes use, is to exploit relationship within communities. It start from religious centers, religious group or families. Like, go tell your friend we are doing this and this. Before you know it, they expand. And once they make enough money, they cash out and leave their victims bleeding. Another one is also posting fake testimonials, fake lifestyles, making it look attractive. That no, if you invest 100 million, you get 200 million. This person did it and bought this car, bought a new house and everything. The market fundamentals are clear. Create value, you get money in exchange. And you are not the only one creating value. So the market would always bring everybody to that average place. But when you see someone telling you that, oh, you can get 100%, where instrument is that person investing in that will return you 100%? I'm not saying there are no investment that will yield on break, but there are not that many, such that people will then turn into something that everybody can come in and then get that 100%. And then also, in terms of how to protect yourself, do your due diligence before you join any scheme. Ask questions, dig into the website, read about the people behind it, ask for the people behind it, ask for their registration document. Just do due diligence. Seek advice from financial gurus who can give you advice on the best investment instrument. Follow the golden rule, which says that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is not true. If it sounds too good to be true, just know that it is not true. It's likely that it is not true. Also, invest only in regulated platforms. That's one way to secure your investment. And don't be in a rush to build, to have to double your money. It's rarely exists that you can double your money within a short period of time. Some work has to go into that money before it can replicate itself. So I want to encourage listeners, if you are listening to this, please share it. It may not apply to you. You may not have fallen victim of this before, but share it, post it, move it around so that people would learn and avoid being a victim to this. And also try to invest safely. Find regulated platforms where you can invest. And lastly, please follow me on Instagram at E-volve Podcast, and also Onado and Adeu without dash end. That's the YouTube handle. Thank you for listening. See you next week. Have a great time. Bye.